refund on Thursday.
Library plan is here and
Not
okay, all right, if we can get the meeting started with a pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Becky will start us with the roll call. Please. Councilwoman LaRock. Here. Councilwoman DeShane. Here. Councilman Hoyt.
Here.
Councilman McCluskey.
Here.
And Supervisor Gunn. Here. All right, we have our minutes from the February 10th town board meeting that were prepared by the town clerk. They looked complete to me. Does anyone have any issues or changes? And I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes from the February 10th town board meeting. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Okay, excuse me, reports from department heads and committees. The supervisor financial reports are prepared. They were handed out to the board members today, and I'll make sure one is given to the town clerk for posting on the website.
Gave you one.
I gave you one, Becky? Okay, good, thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, great. Did I send it to you electronically too, or no?
No.
Okay. We have a lot to cover tonight. A lot of things have been going on, which rather than report them all up front under the supervisor's reports, I'll piggyback on as we go down through the meeting. But one thing I want to start right off with is the EMS situation that has come up in the last several weeks, but it's been an issue for years. Councilwoman LaRock and Councilman DeShane and I went to the meeting at Post and Phil Fire Company 2 weeks ago, Firehouse, 2 weeks ago, and that was a well-attended meeting. They said there was 100 there. There was 150 people there all day. Many of the rescue squad members were there from the Grafton squad. So we'll be hearing more about that as the months go on. I think it got a lot of attention as to the level of crisis we are in eastern Rensselaer County. So Grafton, I'm sure, will be stepping up to do our part, whatever we can do to be part of the solution, and also to keep our citizens first and foremost safe and provided for in Grafton. So thanks again to the rescue squad for everything you guys do and have done, negotiating and navigating this this brave new world we're all in with EMS. Okay, I think that's it. I think I'll, as I said, I'll continue to piggyback on as we go down through. So, town clerk.
The town clerk's office took in a total of $2,915. There was a check issued to New York State Ag Markets, New York State NCON, and the New York State Department of Health for a total of $400.32. And the check was turned over to the town supervisor for $2,514.68.
Acknowledge receipt and deposit of that. I'd like to make a motion to accept the town clerk's report. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Boyd. I think we usually do a roll call vote on this one?
Well, because we've won most months we did, last month we didn't, so whatever you want to do, I guess.
How about roll call?
Yeah, you can always do a roll call. There's nothing that says you can't.
Roll calls, okay.
Councilwoman LaRock?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeShane?
Yes.
Council Hoyt?
Yes.
Council Husky?
Yes.
And Supervisor Williams?
Yes.
And then I just have a couple of communications. I sent the email to you that Oliver sent.
Yes.
He came and did the preventative maintenance on the ventilation system. He's kind of a little worried about the temperature that it gets to now that there's fresh air going through in the wintertime. And he had some suggestions if we wanted to pursue it. It was at 48 that morning. We did have really cold weather. So like you said, it's not probably anywhere where it's gonna damage anything. But if it got colder or if we wanted information on it, he would provide it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And we all have that email.
I got it, yeah, I did, yeah.
And then Johnson Control, is that phone call that we've been getting?
Yes, yeah, Vicky mentioned that to me.
She sent it to you and Phil, the email,
Yes,
an email in regards to them, the collection agency, because we don't know, is it the senior citizens that's supposed to pay that, or the county that's supposed to pay it, or are we supposed to pay it?
right. It's not clearly specified in the it's not specified at all, I should say, in the lease that we have with the county. What I'm trying to figure out is who's paid it in the past. And we dealt with this exact bill a lot last year.
Yeah.
And then we didn't, all of a sudden, like they stopped dubbing us.
Right, well, they've been calling for a while, but they start their message before the answering machine comes on, so I couldn't catch. I only got the last 5 digits of the phone number, and then the file number from the collection agency, which I couldn't match up to anything, but it's the file number from the collection agency.
That's what it was.
And when I called Johnson Control and I gave them our phone, our account number, they had nothing for us on file. No balance.
Yep.
But they,
What's it for?
it was for a service call at the senior center. They changed the batteries.
Fire alarm system.
Oh, okay. It's for the fire safety and personal protection equipment. But they came and did a service on it, changed the batteries. And so it's the battery charge and labor charge.
And in the past, did we pay it? I thought we paid it.
There hasn't been anything done to that in a long, long time.
Well, that's
It's like
why
the
I
first
had
time
come up,
the
that
batteries
they're
were
not
charged.
regular checking up.
We don't have a regular history of paying them. That's, I think Vicky
No.
looked through the files.
Yeah,
Nothing.
So it was a special call, and it's about 800 and change, right?
yeah, it's $983.
Well, we're still trying to get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
Did anybody, has Lisa checked on it?
Or
would it go-
It would, no, it wouldn't go through Lisa and Nancy, but good idea, but it would go to her boss.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, well,
yeah,
that's why I was
Darcy.
thinking
Yeah.
if, you know, if we give it to Lisa, to give to her boss, it would get there,
Yeah.
maybe.
And then the other thing, I got an email and Jared from Molly.
Yeah,
From
I
a
saw it.
restaurant. I know, well, she's concerned because there's cars comes up out of Couch Hollow onto Back Rockland Road, and they don't stop, and there's a bus stop right there. And the kids now have to go out to Babcock Lake Road, they don't get picked up, I guess, so there's like 3 families there. And they've had a couple incidences where cars have pulled out and they've been almost hit. So she was just wondering if we could put a bus stop sign ahead.
Yeah, the
on
ground's
Babcock.
frozen, we can't get a post in the ground. We tried digging today,
Well,
there's 4 foot of frost in the ground, so.
I understand, I just,
I replied to her, told her we'd be there as soon as the ground thaws.
okay, well, she just, because she said that she had sent a couple, and then she included me on it. So I'm just doing correspondence that I've received. Okay.
Did we get copies of the correspondence that you all received? Is that possible?
I can forward the email. I usually do.
You don't have yours set up. Yeah,
Yes, she does.
Thanks to Becky, she set up my email on Outlook, and also I got my keys.
Everybody should have the keys now. If they don't have a key that should have a key, let me know, but I think we're good on keys. We magically found a lot's keys.
Okay, was that it for
That
correspondence?
was all I had. And then the FOIL request we've taken care of, pretty much, I hope.
I hope so too. I hope so too. We just have to do the personnel ones, which is, we're still referring to the same old FOIL request that we've been dealing with for months. But we think we got a little headway on it this afternoon. So, okay, all right, thank you, Becky. Highway Superintendent.
Luckily, everything's pretty positive. Weather seems to be doing good, although we're a long way away from spring. We just got done doing all the maintenance on the summer equipment, so we're ready to go. And right now, we're just dealing with a couple frozen culverts. Gonna be doing some patching potholes and the usual stuff for the spring, but other than that, it's all pretty good to report. Nothing major.
Okay,
That's about it.
that's good. Thank you. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The assessor report?
I don't have them.
I don't.
Did we do one this month, Linda? No, none of us seem to, no? Okay. No? Okay, okay. All right, well, again, Bobby's hours are Friday afternoon. She's here from 1 o'clock on usually. And then Linda, of course, has her office hours for the assessor on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9:30 to,
To 1:30.
1:30,
You know, when
okay.
the last person leaves.
okay. All right. Buildings and code enforcement?
We have 3 permits out here to date. We did have a trailer fire, working with the owner and his insurance company to get that cleaned up, because it was a total loss. And just a reminder, everybody, next weekend, burn ban goes into effect. It's gonna be very dry once the snow goes away. Long Island just had a horrific fire down there. Somebody cooking s'mores in their backyard. So it doesn't take much, so just be aware of that.
What's the date? Or
Usually
May
3:15 to
Till
5:15.
May 14th, I believe.
3:15 to May 15th.
Okay. Planning board.
We have a meeting a week from tonight. There are 2 minor lot line adjustments on the agenda and 2 subdivisions on the agenda. One's a 2-lot subdivision, the other's a 3-lot subdivision. They're both pretty straightforward and minor. Next month, I'll have the proposal ready for you to entertain to change the lot line adjustment issue from a planning board issue to an administrative issue. So you'll take a month or so to give that some thought. We can discuss it, and you can decide whether or not you want to make that change.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. The rescue squad.
We had 23 calls in February for 81 hours and 517 miles. We transported 13 of those calls. 5 of them were canceled. Twice we did not have a crew. We did give mutual aid most of the times in February, 9 times total. We received mutual aid twice. We went to Samaritan 10 times, and we went once each to St. Peter's, Albany Med, and the VA. And as we said, we are still ongoing to try to figure out the crisis and the county of the EMS.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Sandy.
Thank you.
For the dog control officer this evening, we have a quiet month for dog control, 1 dog bite incident turned over to the health department. Thank you, Victoria Burdick. Do you want to say anything else?
Not yet.
Okay, all right, from the youth program director, we have, I can't be there this evening, but here's a quick report. The Dyke and Pond hike was unfortunately a very bitter cold, windy day. They are available for hikes anytime, however, so don't hesitate to reach out to them and take advantage of their services. The Easter egg hunt is next on the list. The flyers should be on the website and on the town pages already. Thank you to Supervisor for getting the bottles checked on in place of Steve. Hoping Steve gets better soon, and in the meantime, our prayers go out to him for healing and a full recovery. Thanks to the rec committee for work on preparing the Easter egg hunt. Any interested volunteers or donations, please contact myself, Laura, or Madonna. No report yet on the grant with Petersburg. Thank you, Laura Basayo, Grafton Youth Director. Bottles are getting picked up Wednesday out at recycling, so if you have a garage full, go ahead and put them out there, tomorrow, Wednesday morning early, and they'll get taken out to support the youth program. Okay, youth program. Grafton Community Library, I don't see Leanna, but she did send us a report. Grafton Community Library, statistics for February. 562 hardcover books were checked out with 329 ebooks. There were 222 adults, 38 children, and 4 teens for their patron visits. They had 19 children up to 5, 32 5 to 12, and 7 teens for their program attendance. The programs they ran were Zumba. A new 10-week session started on March 3rd. Walk-ins are welcome. And I believe that's held at the fire hall, Chief? Yes, that's held at the fire hall. March 19th, the book club from 4 to 5 p.m. The book is Northern Spy by Flynn Barry. March 22nd, it's the Seeds Social and Tool Swap from 10:30 to 12:30. 3/28 is the teen program from 6 to 8 p.m. March 25th is the tween program from 2:30 to 5. Storytime reading challenge to run from February 12th to March 12th. Currently, there are 18 children signed up. So that's the director's report from the library, and you post these, don't you? When she has events? No?
The event.
The events are posted, okay. All right, so the library sounds busy as usual. The state park, no representative. Okay. Again, they send us emails and those things are posted as well.
For March.
For March, okay. The recreation committee, I saw the flyer with the money on it. Good evening, the recreation committee has been busy planning some fun events. First, we have collaborated with the youth program director Laura Basayo in planning the annual Easter egg hunt. It will take place in the town park on Saturday, April 12th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. It will be similar to last year's event with the Easter Bunny in the gazebo to greet and take photos with the kids. Along with the egg hunt, there will be a couple extra things to do. It should be a fun time for all. If it does rain, we are ready to go to the fire hall for backup, thanks to our fire chief, Jim Boyer. We are also in the midst of planning our annual Grafton picnic, which is always a good time. More details to come. Looking ahead, we have planned an evening in the park for September 12th with the Hill Country Cloggers, and that will be held in the town park with a rain date of September 19th. And the date for the tree lighting this year is December 7th. That's what we have for now. Thank you. And that's submitted by Madonna Roy on behalf of the Recreation Committee. All right, the senior citizen representative. Hello.
Hi.
Diane Payne is here.
Our monthly meeting with swearing in of the officers is tomorrow morning at 10:30. As always, call for updates of time changes or cancellations. Weather's been a challenge quite a bit lately. There was music by Brian Zappel in February, and on Thursday, March 20th at 12:30, will be music by Ray Gifford. Please join us. Ray and his band can be heard in many locations in the area. A donation of adult bibs was dropped off at the Danforth Music Balls. Our volunteers continue to make these. So far, this and Project Linus are ways to give back to others. Thursday, the 13th, is birthday celebration and a trivia contest at 12:30. 12:30 till 2 is one-on-one digital literacy. An appointment is suggested. Stop in for monthly calendars of events and menus. Yeah, that's all I have for now.
Meeting starts at 10:30?
What?
The meeting.
Meeting 10:30.
I might be able to come for an hour.
Okay. Thank you, Diane. All right, and the next we have is the Merrymakers representative.
I really don't have a lot to announce. Kathy's still somewhere in Texas or Indiana or someplace. So she's, planning this from afar. There is going to be something going on. The first meeting of the year is April 9th. It's a Wednesday. So she's right now planning, whether it's going to be guest speaker, bingo. I'm not sure what her plan is, but the first meeting of 2025 is April 9th.
Great. Okay, thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
All right, under communications received. Who has what?
I don't have anything.
We have a few, and I will allude back to what I said in the beginning about piggybacking on as we go. Every 5 years, the towns in Rensselaer County have to do a 5-year hazard mitigation plan. We need to update this in working closely with not only our town officials, but our local Rensselaer County officials to make sure that this plan is up to date. Doug LaRock spearheaded it on behalf of the town this year, went to the meetings and worked on the forms that needed to be provided, and I'm happy to say at this point we are up to snuff and completely compliant. We have the plan in place, and the significance of this is that it keeps Grafton in the loop for any FEMA events that might come up down the road. We're completely in line to receive FEMA money or FEMA assistance if we come into those times that something like that might happen where we need their assistance. So thank you to Doug for taking the time and going to all those meetings and making sure we're up to snuff. We've also had ongoing conversations and a little bit of correspondence back and forth with New York Parks and Rec, and the DEC's been involved a little bit with regard to the Martin Dunham Dam, the status of the Martin Dunham Dam. It's common knowledge that it's received a high priority rating for structural integrity. High priority does not necessarily refer to its imminent danger of failure. What it does signify is that were it to fail, it would be catastrophic. It would be a big event for the western part of town and Brunswick. So that's, if anyone sees that it's received a high priority rating, that's what it is. But we continue to speak with Parks and Rec and DEC through Parks and Rec to come up with a game plan. And I think we're going to have information within the next few weeks from Parks.
That was the indication.
That was how they're what they're thinking.
Madam Supervisor, if I interrupt, News Channel 10 had something about Dyke and Pond Dam as well.
Yes, they did. Yeah, I saw that.
So this is an issue
Yeah.
with two dams in our town.
It's not, that dam is not in our town, for one thing.
Well, it affects,
Right, exactly, it does, yes. So it's something that obviously they're looking at, you know, the state's looking at all of it. So yes, under correspondence received, those are two things that are ongoing and continue to keep our attention. Anyone else have any correspondence? No? Okay, under new business, we have supervisors committee assignments. I've printed them out. I printed them out and promptly lost them. Thank you. The Public Safety Committee, Councilwoman LaRock and Councilwoman DeShane. Buildings and Grounds, Councilwoman LaRock and Councilman Witkowski. Street Lighting, Councilman Hoyt and Councilman Witkowski. The Budget Committee, Councilman Hoyt and Councilman Witkowski. Human Resources, Councilman Hoyt and Councilwoman DeShane. Veterans, Councilwoman LaRock and Councilman Hoyt. Parks and Cemeteries, Councilman Hoyt, Councilman Witkowski. Highway, Councilwoman LaRock and Councilman Witkowski. Recycling, Councilwoman DeShane and Councilwoman LaRock. Seniors, Councilwoman DeShane and Councilwoman LaRock. Youth, Councilwoman DeShane and Councilman Hoyt. And Recreation, Councilwoman DeShane and Councilman Hoyt. And Municipal Grants Committee, Councilman Hoyt and Councilman Witkowski. So those are the assignments for 2025.
Thank you.
Great, okay, there you go, okay. We'll clean that up a little.
Can I get a copy of that? So I can
Yes,
post
yeah,
it?
you definitely can. Yeah, I'll get you a nice clean copy after the meeting. Thank you. All right, any other new business?
Yes,
Yes.
we've been talking about getting a maintenance man for the town, as far as taking care of different things, like the senior center, something needs to be fixed, or maybe in this building. And I'd like to make a motion that we place a notice in, for a maintenance person for the town's own buildings and grounds. This person should be capable of making routine repairs as needed and advising the board of need of more specialized services. This notice would be placed in the town's official newspaper as soon as possible, with resumes due back to the town clerk by close of business on April 4th. And I think it's important that we make sure that they know it's not just a letter of interest, but we want to see a resume and the experience Clerk would be directed to forward all pertinent correspondence to the town supervisor, who shall disseminate copies to all council members prior to the April 14th meeting for possible appointment at that time. It's just suggestions, but I do not feel that it's the town board member's position to go and fix something in any of these buildings. We need people that can follow up on it and that's gonna be responsible for fixing it. And that would probably also include mowing the lawns, shoveling in the winter, that type of thing. And take some of that off. The highway guys, they're out trying to plow, and we're expecting them to clean the sidewalks, and they don't get done in time, but it's not their fault, they're out in the road. So let's have somebody that's responsible for that, so we don't have to worry about who's gonna do it.
So do you think we should do that all in one, or do that two different, the lawn mowing and the shoveling?
I think it should be part of the maintenance, because basically, it depends on how many hours they're gonna work, but, depending on the hours for the recycling, are you gonna have time for the recycling person to go out and mow the lawn? Shoveling, it's gotta be somebody that can get there before the highway department, take that pressure off the highway department and having them getting calls that it's not shoveled.
No, right. I just didn't know if it should be two different positions. The maintenance and the lawn and the shoveling.
What I'm thinking, this is my personal thought, is that it's not gonna be a full-time job, so that would give that person more hours if there isn't something that has to be done. And then, I don't know, I'm looking for suggestions from the
Elderly
board.
person who wants to get a maintenance guy, he might not be able to shovel
Well,
and
then
mow.
is he gonna be able
I
to
don't know.
climb a ladder to change a light bulb?
Yeah.
You know what?
True story. I don't know.
That's why
fine
I'm
with it.
asking for,
We
their
definitely need it all.
experience.
We definitely need
I
it all.
think that's why I'm asking for the experience and also references.
Mhm.
So we can really look at what kind of experience they have, what can they do. I don't expect to get a certified engineer in for this job, but, we want somebody that can handle what needs to be done and take the pressure off of everybody that's trying to do it now or not getting done.
So you general contractor, but the person will actually
No,
do.
this is not for the general contractor,
Oh.
this is just for the maintenance
The
man.
groundskeeper?
Groundskeeper, maintenance man.
Okay, so it's a maintenance.
Right, that's why I brought it under new.
Okay.
So how many hours do you think are gonna be involved in this? It's part-time.
It's part-time, so, if you're gonna have them do the lawn mowing and the shoveling and that, maybe 15, 20 hours, and then depend on, I don't know if that's too many hours or not. And it depends too, it's gonna have to be, there's gonna have to be a leadway, because if there's a lot of stuff that they're gonna have to do for the town buildings, then he's gonna need more, or she's gonna need more, time.
So, yeah, at least 20, 25
So at least 20 hours.
You wanna put this out now?
I think we've got to get it out soon to get somebody. And to have the time between now and the 14th to make the decision, to look at the resumes, to call references. I'm sorry, I used to work for the Department of Labor and I had to call references and do all that, and I think that's an important thing, not just a letter of interest, because it doesn't tell us nothing, except that they're interested. So make it very clear that we want a resume and references.
I think we need a job description before we.
Yes, that was one of the things that I was gonna say, we have some stuff, but didn't you say that there was a job description for the, civil service? For maintenance?
There are a bunch of them. Civil service has them for virtually any position you could imagine.
So we could look at one of those, and then we could, look at it and determine what things we want, what maybe things that we could add. I mean, we'd have to do that rather quickly, so we can get it out in the newspaper, but then at least it won't go kicking down the road, we'll have what we need.
If you look at, just for reference, look at when we get done, The town of Petersburg is advertising for a groundskeeper right now.
Okay.
And it's got quite a lengthy job description of what the person would be expected to do.
Do you have a copy of that?
I don't, but it's on their website, and actually, I printed it, it's on my desk. I
Okay,
didn't bring it out
yeah.
here.
Well, if we could sit down, or if you want to go get it, we can go over it now in the open meeting, is where we're supposed to, it's not something an executive. I'm just thinking, so we can get it moving.
Do we, I mean, I know I'm not supposed to say anything, but Ryan,
He's
I have
moved
not
away.
gotten any I haven't gotten a resignation from him though.
He's living in Clifton Park, he's married, and
Yeah, it's April Park. He said he
Oh,
would
April
still
Park?
do the cemeteries and mow the lawn weekly.
well, and
But,
maybe,
yeah, he's not gonna go past sheetrock and paint and stuff like
Well,
that.
I'm just saying, he hasn't sent in a resignation, is what I'm saying.
'Cause he
So,
hasn't
and a lot of that, a lot of that, what you just said was part of that resolution.
the moment.
There was supposed to be 20 hours a week.
Okay,
His
but
position.
that was working
He
with the
mowed.
highway department, and wasn't that part of the highway department or no? I'm
No, it
just
was
asking.
just a mowing and filling at the recycling stuff, and she's right, it was up to 20 hours a week. Didn't have to
Okay.
be 20 hours,
Okay,
but
well then, we've got to decide, do we want to hire another company, do we want to combine those and see if he would be interested in it? You know, we can't take, I mean, Jared says he wouldn't want to do sheetrocking or whatever, we're not saying they're gonna have to do sheetrocking, but I would think that we would, also, ask him if he was interested in that position, because he already does part of it, and then get resumes too, and he'd have to give us a resume also if he was interested in that. I don't know if that sounds fair to you guys.
So what would we do, make a motion to advertise for a groundskeeper
And also
slash general?
contact maintenance, and then contact, Ryan, and, let him know we're gonna run this, and ask him if he's interested, and if he is, to give us a resume, and we definitely would consider him also. Can we do that, or because we already have a resolution out there that he does the lawn mowing, do we have to take that off that?
Or if he
Let's
just
pull a
wants to
copy.
mow and do the cemeteries, just make it
Find out
that,
if it's interesting.
take away. Right,
Yeah,
because he does do a really good job mowing and he's dedicated.
well, that's why I was
The
thinking.
cemeteries,
yeah, they're
having
kind of
them done
work.
is a big help.
And the thing is, that's what I'm saying, I
Right.
mean, it might be too much for one person,
Right,
maybe we
that's what I
leave
mean,
that for
right.
them, but add the snow shoveling and stuff in the winter to the maintenance person, just because we need somebody in town to do
Yeah,
that.
I think that's a good idea.
What does everybody think about that?
When he
Not
was
this
here.
year. He
No,
did when he lived in
When
town,
he was
but
here,
yeah.
that was part of Ryan.
Yeah, but if he's not gonna, I don't think he's gonna come from Eagle Park to Grafton to shovel 2 paths.
No,
So
No,
we've
I'm not
gotta
saying-
be honest with him too, we've gotta let him know that we're looking for somebody for that, because he's not gonna wanna come up, I mean, he can if he wants, but we've gotta have somebody up here to have the senior center shoveled out prior to them getting in, the post office shoveled out, and not leave it
I think we do
on
that.
Jeremy's.
we don't do that.
Oh, we don't? Okay. I thought because we owned it, we had to. Who does that?
They have somebody.
Oh, they have
else.
somebody,
The
okay.
postmistress does
Good for
it.
them.
Or I've done it.
Yeah, but
Jeremy's
again,
done
there,
it.
if we put it down that if it's not done, they should do it, then we'll know it's done one way or the other.
Okay, so when we get to motions, we'll make a motion to run an ad or explore running an ad for groundskeeper slash general maintenance? Yeah, is that what we're thinking?
Well, we're gonna have to run it, but we're gonna have to get together before then to figure out the job description, and we're gonna look at, that's why I say we have to do that as a board, and it's not an executive situation, so it would have to be talked in public about it. So are we gonna, is that true? Am I right on that?
The way most people do this in Petersburg, I just looked it up, they're looking more for someone that's doing outside stuff, not so much fixing a building up here and there. But what you guys could do is authorize 1 or 2 of you to come together and develop a job description, and then also work on a public notice so that you're not having to get together as a board. You're delegating to 1 or 2 of you to basically come up with a job description and get an advertisement in the paper.
Okay, so we could do that all in the motion tonight, pick
You
two
could.
people, and then we can run with it, and those two people get together and get it straightened out.
Right, and then even when you get some of these resumes back, you could act at that point to do something, or you could say, no, we want to advertise more, or whatever. But that's the way most people do it. You would delegate to one or two of you to come up with the job description and to place the ad. If that's okay with the rest of you.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll make a motion as the buildings and grounds committee. Put together that information, what you want to have, look over the job descriptions we have.
Yeah,
Get more?
if Tom's in agreement with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the motion we'll make.
Thank you.
Okay. More new business?
No, that falls under old business. That falls under the business. And that, nope, the rest of them fall under old business.
Okay. Under new business, we discussed running an ad for temporary part-time assistance or the position at the recycling center. It would be temporary and part-time in accordance with the hours that were open presently. So in order to run this ad, Phil, we just need to,
Same thing. I would suggest you do just a motion that would delegate to the supervisor, because you had some good wording earlier,
okay?
to come up with the appropriate ad for the filling of a temporary position.
Okay.
And to also advertise it, not just come up with it, but put it.
Well, that's what it needs to go in the
Yeah.
paper.
Okay, that's what I meant. Okay.
Okay. Okay, that was new business, all right. Old business. I'll let you start, Nancy.
Okay. Several of us on the board went down to the senior center last week or the week before, look through, see what needs to be done there. First of all, we were gonna get an energy audit done. I contacted NICEC and I contacted National Grid. They do not do municipality buildings. They did the library, but that's owned private. That's separate from the municipality. So I did call one place, they wanted either 2,500 or 3,500 to do it. So then I think we decided that we were gonna go down there and look at the center, see what we think that needs to be done. Not that there were experts, but Tom's been down there a lot, I've been there since I've got on the board, and I joined the senior center, seniors, so, we went down and we found several things, 12 or 13 things that need to be taken care of. And they were, first of all, the gutters need to be put over the outside stairs and the ramp, because the water runs down, freezes, and it's on the ramp, and you can't use the stairs, because it runs right down to it. So we've got to have gutters on that, on the back, or the front porch, and probably the back porch. Was there anything that you wanted to add to that, Tom? Nope. Okay. The condensation from the pipe upstairs, from the, Tom, what's that thing called? It's off the heater, no,
It's just to compensate from the gas furnace.
for the gas furnace.
So it generates a lot of water vapor, and when they built the place, they ran into an outside wall. Well, you can't run water on an outside wall, because if it gets extremely cold, or the pipe comes, and I don't know where the pipe comes underneath the outside ramp, it freezes. So what it does is back up, and there's a thing there, we just break it, and there's a bucket to catch it. My suggestion is just take it, and you can run it right out onto the roof where it's heated, it's not gonna freeze, it's a short distance. In the event that something does get it, you're right there to fix it, so. They put a heat tape in it, but they had a 50-50 shot of putting the heat tape in it, and they put it ass backwards, so. The
Yeah,
sensor is upstairs where the heat is, and the plug is downstairs.
Is that a technical term, Tom?
It's not appropriate.
Yeah, right. The windows need to be replaced, they rattle, they leak, the air leaks. and a lot of cold air comes in, and we don't need an energy audit to tell us that. So we have to look at possibly replacing all the windows to get it airtight in the senior center. This stuff has, and some of this stuff has been for years, let go. So it's, you know, sometime or another, we're gonna have to fix it. We rent it out, you know, if I was renting a house out, I'd make sure my house was in good shape for the people that are paying for it. And I think we have that obligation also as a town. We had talked about putting the air conditioners in the windows. My other thought that I think that we should look into, and it might not be possible, might not be feasible, but look into it. We already have central air in part of that building. What would it cost us to make the rest of it central air, to upgrade it? Otherwise, we're gonna have to put, what did we say, 3 or 4 air conditioners in the windows?
There are 4 there now, there's 4
Yeah.
big units in the floor baseboard.
Yeah, the air conditioning,
Don't work. And the air conditioning there, the central air does not work out.
doesn't that work in the,
In the office, absolutely not.
okay, so
went
that
bad
doesn't.
about 3 years ago, the compressor and everything. We put a little 6,000 BTU unit in the window and it keeps all those offices cool, so.
Okay.
That was about $5,000-$6,000 to replace that.
Okay, well, we need to look at it and see, you know, what we really wanna
Probably
do, get a
the best
price.
option there would be, because, you know, you have radiant heat in that floor, and that's all well and good in the dead of winter. But, you know, transitioning in the fall and the spring, that takes 3 days to get hot. And when it gets hot, it stays hot.
Mhm.
So if you had mini splits there that would do air conditioning, and that transition heat where you just need a little heat and you can turn it off, probably be the way to go.
I think that's something that we have to have.
You have to have a company come
prices,
in
yes.
and do an evaluation.
Yeah, let's see. So the air leaks, the air conditioners that we have, they don't work, and they're built into the wall. And then over the winter, the girls down at the senior center is putting stuff in front of it to try to stop the air from coming in. But they should have had covers or something to block that air. It's just stuff poured in front of it. So if we take those air conditioners out and put them in the window, we're gonna have to rebuild those walls to make them, you know, energy efficient too. There was mold in the attic on a piece of plywood.
Sheet rock, and it was taken care of.
It's also on plywood, because after we went there and I went up for, to help with the aprons, Lisa took me up and showed me there's still mold up there. Ceiling repair, sheetrock in the stairwell and the wall as you go upstairs to where the heater is, and the senior uses it for storage. It has leaked, has come down the wall and the ceiling, and then over to where the secretary sits. That's all soft, so that all has to be redone and taken out. You can't just paint over it, because your municipality owns that building and you have to be careful of mold. And mold is a big thing that OSHA really looks at. And people have sicknesses because of mold. We don't want anybody to get sick in there because we did it, excuse me, by half-assed job. Right now, the heating system is working. Did we decide we were gonna have somebody look at that also when we went through all this? I don't remember. Or is it working, or were we gonna look to see if maybe we could make it better, or, I don't know, I don't remember. Do you remember, Tom?
I mean, it's been running fine, so.
What did they do to make it run this good?
Put a new igniter in it. It's just, I mean, need some basic maintenance. It's 18 years old. It's a simple gas furnace that runs, heats water in this radiant heat system. It's a very simple system.
Okay.
So it's been working, no problems whatsoever.
And then there's a couple of things that is being taken care of in the spring, the cupola, the siding, the lights in the hall itself where the people sit to eat. It's a raised roof and there's no lights up there. There are drop lights on the sides. There's also been leaks up there, so the ceiling needs to be fixed. We believe it was from when the ceiling leaked before. They fixed the ceiling and this never got fixed. But we'd also talked about possibly putting fans there to bring the heat down and have lights on the fans, so have it both. So it brings the heat down and you have light, because on a dark day or a cloudy day, people can't see what they're eating. Tom, the fascia hasn't been fixed yet either, has it, or has it? No, okay, the fascia. So it's the cupola, the siding, and the fascia. Last step on the porch is too high. It has to have another step put there. People are complaining that, we've got older people going in and out there and it's too high for them. The maintenance for the cleaning. The whole place really needs to be painted, as Tom said. It's been a long time, it's never been painted. There's spots that,
18 years.
18 years, and it's time that we paint it and, let's start maintaining it after you get all this stuff fixed, and let's maintain it instead of just kicking it down the road, not getting it fixed. The drop ceiling, okay, I talked about that. The front porch is Trex, but it seems like it's put too tight together and the water can't run off it. And I don't know if Trex can rot from that, but something needs to be done with that. So we spent all the money on Trex, then you got water laying there. The railings on the back porch needs to be tightened and fixed. There is a fire hazard as far as the seniors getting out. If you're in the dining area and there was a fire in the office parts, and it's in that little hallway where you go out to the back door and they can't use that, there's no way for them to get out. You can go out the front door or the door in the kitchen, but that's right along that hallway. So if we're gonna have it safe enough, I hate to see somebody in a walker or a wheelchair have to go out that back door and have to try to go down on grass. Something needs to be fixed so it's accessible for them, not only for emergencies, but for otherwise too. And I would hate to see somebody go out there in their walker and fall because they stumbled over a rock or the grass or whatever.
I'm envisioning my phone tomorrow. But I'm sure you got more.
No, I think
it's an 18-year-old building, 19-year-old building. We have kept it in fine shape. It's done very well serving the seniors of Rensselaer County that come out here and the seniors of Grafton. It needs a lot of work. It really does. Commensurate with any building that's been sitting there that long. It's got Route 2 rolling by, the trucks rolling by, the windows clearly need replacing, as any building that old would. So, but yeah, we've definitely got a big punch list, and we're probably about an hour, the 4 of us going through, 5 of us going through.
And then when they plow in the wintertime, when the plows go down through, and there's nothing they can do, it's so close, but the slush hits the window. So I'm waiting for one of those windows to break.
They used to be covered in Lexan.
Yeah, that's what you said, but
They got so bad that you couldn't see out of them.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that we saw, and I think if you listen to the list that I just ran down, and I can find the list that Lisa gave us. I didn't know if there was anything else on that. Right, we have the building. The water filtration, often very low, comes up later. UV alarm on pre-alarm most days. Do you know what she's talking about, Tom?
Yeah, the UV light, I talked to Well Done, they put a new bulb in it, but he suggested that the system there, again, 18 years old.
Right.
So it varies.
So that's something else we have to look at.
It's still within limits of the health department regulations, and it's still.
So what I would like to see, we looked at this stuff, we all agreed that these are the things that are wrong. I would like to get a motion to put an RFP out and get a general contractor to come in and give us estimates. And then they would hire their subcontractors or whatever they have to do, but we'd be only responsible to pay the general contractor, and he would be responsible to make sure everything got done right. And that way there, it's all fixed and it's not piecemeal, do this, do that, do this room, don't do that. You know, it's crazy, let's get it all done, and then we're starting with fresh, if we can afford it. And that's the next thing.
So you'd be looking to do a motion to hire a general contractor?
Yeah, put an
contractor to fix
RFP
all of
out
it.
for, because I'm sure it's gonna be over the amount that we can do for, you know, so just put an RFP out, get all the stuff listed, and see what kind of prices we can get from a general contractor and let him deal with the rest.
Well, if you're gonna do this with a general contractor, then we should have a real focused item, all the items that we really want done at the same time.
Well, that would be all of them.
Yeah.
That's why we have the list, yeah.
Plus more.
Plus more,
Maybe more.
plus more, yeah. And that's another thing, we would still have to look, but I think we have to get going on this. Summertime, spring is coming, and this is the great time to do it and get it done. And, so I'd like to see a motion that we put this all together and, do an RFP, whatever the letters are.
Request for a proposal.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. Okay, thanks for that thorough recap of what we did. And thank you to Lisa too at the center for walking us through.
Yes.
RFPs, our grant with Petersburg. You know, they've got RFPs for all their jobs down there. Do we have anything for our roof down here? What was the load?
We don't have one together yet, but we should. Yeah, we definitely should.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought Heinz said that that had for ours and their, on theirs.
No, we had a deadline, I thought.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
What do you mean, the grant that we just put in for them?
For the basketball court?
They had to do what they do down there for upgrading their hot geothermal systems for their
Right.
courts and everything.
Yes, they did that because they have physical plant properties that they use for recreation stuff. We don't. So we didn't have to do any of that, but you're right, they did.
Laura
They had to
mentioned
come up with
something
a-
about
I mean, we need to know a rough idea what this would cost.
Yeah, what it's gonna cost, and like what Pierce was saying, that, plus additional things that we
Yeah.
should think about that building's next 30 years. Generator, AEDs or VFib, you know, I mean, things like that that would make it, you know, somewhere we can land if we need to. You know, have a place for emergencies, you know, well heated and.
So I guess my question to the other members here, because NICEAG and National Grid don't do, energy audits, should we withdraw the energy audit and go with getting things fixed? And that, I think, my personal opinion, and you guys, I want to know your personal opinion too. I think a lot of that will take care of the energy problem in the building.
You're not gonna get into tearing walls out, re-insulating and stuff like that. That's what they're gonna look at. It was insulated, you know, to close back there.
Right.
The windows, you can, throw a cap through. None of them, you can't lock some of them and.
But I think a general contractor would hit that stuff.
That's what I'm
The most
thinking.
up-to-date
They're
energy
gonna see what
efficient
needs to be
stuff.
caulked, a lot of caulking around stuff.
Yeah, and if
There's
there's-
simple things that you can make a building tight.
I mean, the sheetrock on the ceiling
Doors.
might have to be removed or the
Doors
wall.
and spaces like that underneath.
Yeah. So we might want them to do the windows.
There's a lot of electricity
Well, the kitchen is
that
the,
we don't take care of.
yeah, we don't take care, I've already been told that 3 times on the.
Freezers and all their stuff.
Exactly.
Get up.
But it's, we should be proud to rent it out and proud for
Right,
our
exactly.
seniors and anybody else that wants to go there, to be proud that they have a good place to go and get it updated so we, and keep it updated instead of letting everything go for 18 years. Not that we've let it go, but you know what I mean. To really try to get it straightened out and fixed and done right.
I just want to close that by saying Rensselaer County's been an exceptional tenant for us there, an excellent partner in providing services to the seniors, and they've been good stewards of the building.
Absolutely.
What they
Absolutely.
take care of. It's immaculate, it's up to code with health department stuff that it needs to satisfy for the services that the building provides.
I even tried to get them to do an energy audit for us
Right.
because I thought, well, if they're renting it, who better would be to do the energy audit than them, but that didn't work out.
Okay, any other old business? Speed limits and crosswalks. No new correspondence on that, which they do take forever, we know that. The sewer line repair at the town hall. I've made 2 phone calls to different outfits that do grinder pump stuff. So we're just waiting to hear back from them when they can come and take a look at what we have. So I have two different phone calls I made on that. The shredder should be getting installed over at recycling, or the shredder bins. They should be coming, if not this week, the first part of next. FOIL request for supervisor records, we took care of that earlier. The update on...
Completed now?
What's that?
Is that completed?
It's not completed, we have 2 more personnel things that she's
Oh,
looking
okay,
for.
gotcha.
We've talked in the past about live streaming the town board meetings. We're still getting refined pricing on that, whether or not we're going to do a speaker in the ceiling, or what sort of technical apparatus they can put in, and what pricing would be associated with
And
that.
I've
But
got-
we're just looking at that to best serve our needs, what we can do that would best serve what Grafton's needs in particular are.
I have got a little bit more information on the town stream. They offer packages that include live stream up to 4 meetings a month for $250. This is their minimum package. This is the smallest package they have. The meeting would be available live and on YouTube channel for up to 5 years. So they keep those running for 5 years. They provide the video equipment and placing the ceiling mount microphone to pick up the voices in the meeting room. They might possibly even be able to install with no minimum cost, depending on the amount of difficulty and work it would be involved. And that would be going from the internet room to the meeting room. There's also a proposal from a company known as eCast, which provides the very similar services. Their estimate was between $7,500 and $8,000 yearly, which breaks down to about $625 to $666 a month. There also, if anybody wants to go online and look up town hall streams, there's a video on there that shows you exactly how it works. I tried to copy it, but it couldn't copy it. Okay. Also, the meeting audio. So far, we've been given quotes from a Brunswick company known as Live Sound to provide 5 microphones, a mixer, 2 speakers, an amplifier, a board processing, which runs between $5,500 and $7,000 for equipment and installation. Another company, Guitar Center of Colony, will provide 5 wireless microphones, a mixer, 2 speakers for about $2,300, but we'd have to do our own installation. We have one person that we're going to talk to right now. This is something that we wouldn't be able to vote on tonight because this is all more information needed, but I just wanted to give an update to let the board and our constituents know that we haven't forgot about this, and we're trying to get what we can and get what's best for the town, if it can be voted on. Okay, so we're looking into other options as well, but plan on having a resolution for both the audio and the video ready for the board to consider at the April meeting, if that's okay with everybody.
Okay, all right, that's where we stand with live streams. Speed limits, crosswalks, sewer line. That's it. Any other old business?
Yeah, I would also like to make a motion. So you don't ask. I'd like to make a motion to offer, to place a notice in a position for recycling center attendant. You brought that up, didn't you?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay, forget it, I don't have anything more.
Okay. Yes, we put that on, we put it on for motion stands. Okay, all right, public comment, privilege of the floor. Public comment is limited to 5 minutes per person. Be mindful the public comment portion of the meeting is a privilege. All comments and statements shall be directed to the town board. Please refrain from any personal attacks, name calling, or derogatory public comments toward individuals. Okay. Let's get the timer started and we will timer. Okay, who'd like to start? No way. Oh, so close.
Thank you, John. You're
So
so
nice to get quicker. I know. Go on. All right, John Munn, yes, sir. Time starts.
Couple thoughts. You're talking about a maintenance person for part-time work, but I'd like to see a better scope of work defined for this person, hours, salary, and responsibilities. And while you're developing that scope of work, consider adding a recycling, making it a position to also include the recycling coordinator. Okay.
We don't.
Just throwing it out there.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
then
too much
there's-
work.
And then as far as also the senior center goes, you have some ideas about work that needs to be done, but you might want to get some professional advice involved as far as making the place handicapped accessible, for instance, for seniors, or whatever you might need to do to make it suitable specifically for seniors. And for instance, you might have fire codes or access egress codes that have to be met, handicapped railings, all that kind of stuff. And you might want to get a professional architect involved to either look at the building and also kind of agree with what your assessment is, and also come up with some other suggestions. They may be going further than what you want to do. There may be other needs that you don't recognize just based on the use of the building. That's all.
Great. Okay, thank you. Thanks, John. Yeah. Okay, who else tonight? Yes, Rob Loveday.
Regarding the live streaming, it would be cheaper just to go with live streams because, again, $400 to $400 max a month. They'll do the audio and video. You can buy more than one mic. You could buy 5 mics, one for every person. You have 2 mics here. I'm aware of this stuff. So you don't have to get Guitar Center involved because that's only part of the problem. You want audio and video. You might as well just go with one company who does it all. He can organize anything you want. And if you don't like it, you can go back to him and say, hey, we can't hear, put some more mics in. I think he's more flexible, and it's his niche business, so I have no vested interest. But when I talked to him, it sounded like it was the right and most efficient way to go. So that's that. Now on to my main topic. The town board is aware that Grafton residents represent a very wide range of ages, income, education levels, needs and interests. Okay? This is a totally different topic. Citizens in each age group require different services and assistance from the town. For example, 40% of the population is over 60 years old. This age group is most likely to need emergency medical services. As these baby boomers age, they will likely use these services more often. Meanwhile, those in the 30 to 50-year-old range are busy working, raising kids. They're focused on building their future. Their interests likely include sports and outdoor recreation. So that's just 2 different groups with incredibly different needs and interests. There are obviously other age groups in the town that have even different interests and needs. For the town, in terms of income, almost 30% of the households make less than $50,000 a year, while the same percentage of households make between $100,000 and $200,000 per year. 7% of the residents live under the poverty line. All of these statistics come from state and federal census data collected between 2017 and 2023 and serve to illustrate our diverse population. And to my credit, I reduced those numbers a little because I'm deathly afraid of using statistics and then being wrong. So I went and looked all over the place for these statistics. So I think they're pretty accurate and they're pretty conservative. Why is it important for the town to use data? Here's an example of these statistics. Because using data helps the board effectively and logically plan for future services for all those age groups. But planning also requires community input. And input requires lots of communication between the town government and its citizens. So here's the kicker. How can the board communicate with all the great people of this town? Easily, through 3 methods. Through the town board and planning board meetings, through an active town website, and by mailing quarterly newsletters. Thank you.
May I ask one of your statistic clarification? 7% under the poverty level?
I found 9. I found.
Okay.
I actually brought it down to 7 because I don't want to be too high on any statistics.
So plus or minus 10%.
Mostly it was 9.
Okay.
Excuse me, did you use the total population of the town?
For
what number?
Poverty? Yes.
For the whole town?
Correct.
Do you have that number? That you?
How many?
I'm sorry, the population of the town. Well, that's another interesting thing. When you look around, it's between 1760 and up to 2300.
Yeah.
But the population actually has been going down a tiny bit in the past couple of years. But the census data, like all census data, is always old. It's like several years old, so you don't even want to talk about it because it's in the past. Maybe people have moved in or moved out, so it's a little sticky. But I'm just trying to get across a general concept.
Thank you. Thanks. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Public comment. Yes, Mr. Buckley.
Supervisor, I just wanted to share that on January 6th, the governor passed a thing on the Committee on Open Government about the website, about .gov. But since then, there were some changes made to it and it was updated on March 3rd. I hadn't seen this been mentioned. I know that we came up with Mr. Loveday maybe at one point. I've been absent, although I did watch Ann's video, and that's how it kept me in the loop. But just want to back up a little bit before I get into that. I listened to Heinz Nogan a couple of months ago talk about the grant, and what a great idea to work with both towns to try to get this grant. I think investment in our children, we're not doing it enough, so I welcome that. I think it's a great thing that they're all doing, and I applaud all of you for the work you've done on that. I'm interested to see how that plays out because that investment should happen. But I think it was striking that he made it a point to say that over the years, the towns have not really been doing much outreach. And that's one of the reasons why we're not having volunteers and why people aren't connected to the community. And I couldn't help but notice that. And I'm so glad he said that because a lot of the residents have come here saying just that. So it was actually nice to hear him say that. I think we're very lucky to be partnering with him. And it really was sound wisdom. And it's sound wisdom that rung true with me. Because I've been saying that myself, and what we're missing is that website. And what we're missing is our ability to reach out to our residents. And I think this live streaming idea really needs to happen. I know that a lot of us have spearheaded this long before. But it's ironic that this new document has come out, and it's not really asking, it's telling you that the municipalities need to do this. So the good news is that they've given you now more time, and that's what I wanted to share with you. And I wanted to hand this off to the board so that you at least had it, because I think it's relative to what Councilwoman Nowak has just brought up, and I think it's going to go a long way to help broaden your understanding of what a lot of the residents are asking for. And that is, in January, we recently appointed a new chairman. And I can't, to our planning board, and I can't say enough for Mr. Gilchrist. Clearly, his experience in the past is going to serve us well here in the town. And I think on the planning board and his recommendation for training for the planning board is members is paramount. But more importantly, we also need to have these planning board meetings also shared with the public. Because one of the things that you should be able to do is have these on there so that the residents can learn this process and the process that goes into getting property subdivided. Furthermore, it really goes a long way to educate the public about what's happening with public events around their neighbors. So, you know, we're about ready to celebrate our 218th birthday at the end of the month. There's really no reason why we shouldn't be embracing this now, when we've been asking for it for a long time. And I think it's only appropriate that we thank Ann Calabro for all the work she's done to really heighten what goes on up here in the absence of all of us doing it ourselves. But I think really now we're seeing that that has to happen, and it's my belief the state's mandating you do it now. There's an exception here in an update that allows the town, because we don't have 1,500 people, or maybe we do or maybe we don't.
We do. We're
Okay.
2,000 and change.
Okay, so now that exemption is actually not relevant.
No, it is though. No,
I guess what I'm saying is that there's a minimum requirement that they're asking you to at least meet. And I believe that we need to exceed that minimum requirement. Because we're not just a town with X amount of people living here. We also have a lot of property owners who are neighboring owners in towns nearby. So it's not like they're not connected or don't want to be. I'll even go so far to say that many people here tonight are showing that the work that people are doing to highlight this on social media is probably one of the reasons you have as many people as you have here tonight. I think we're stepping in the right direction. I think it's just taken way too long to get there. It's my hope that this new document that I presented to you helps move that along, because we really need to do that. And the planning boards also need to be a part of it. Any special meetings, you do need to be a part of it. And I believe we can do this really cheaply. Listen, we just bought a shredder for $1,200 for the year. Now listen, I think it's great.
right.
And again, and I'm not knocking the process, but I just don't see that getting so much use as to the facts of Ann Calabro getting her videos being watched 600 times as opposed to the town's only being watched 25. We're falling short. And we need to, someone needs to take it by the horn. And that's why I want to thank Councilwoman LaRock for all your years out here, sitting here. Now that you're on this board, you're going to listen to us. And I salute you, and I thank you, and I yield back the floor.
Thank you. Thank you for this. This is great. This is excellent. Phil, I'm sure you're familiar with it.
I'm sure he's not.
Yeah.
You guys should be looking at updating your website.
Right, yeah, updating our website and
Didn't you
then
send that back?
the .gov component too.
Right, it just has to change to .gov.
Is that an easy fix with?
No. I'm talking about the overall, you're supposed to update your website for many more reasons than just that one.
Right, yeah, change, yeah.
You're just talking about the email aspect of it. You guys realize what she's talking about is the emails are supposed to be updated, but actually the website itself is supposed to be updated.
And there's time frames that are different than what they used to be, as to when that has to be updated.
Nevertheless, I think we can all agree that this falls way short, and our expectations as residents.
This will be helpful to get us in full compliance.
I'll look at it.
I've got two.
It might be time to make the
It's all right, I'll
investment.
get it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else from the floor? Okay, Ann Calabro.
Okay, I want to thank you for doing the walkthrough of the senior building. I was going to point out that letters are something that were really important, because I can see where the tar is actually being eaten away by the water hitting down at the bottom of the ramp. I have had someone suggest to me that we have a railing going down the incline to the driveway, because we've got a couple people that are wobbly, and having them go down without anything to hang on to just in case. I realize it's one more thing to maintain, but that would be helpful for some people. You talked about the disaster mediation thing. Is there something that residents should know about disasters? What we should do, like any preparation, places where we should go if we need help? I've never actually heard it. I've been here over 10 years now, And I've never actually heard anything about it. And then, go ahead, Doug.
The update that we just did took into effect a lot of that. It now has, it was so old that if there was a problem, the first people notified were the city of Troy instead of the town clerk. That's all been remedied. There's a whole list of people now that if there is a major disaster that needs some sort of mitigation, that will be contacted. They start contacting other organizations, the town, the supervisor, the fire chief, the ambulance corps, the county emergency management system, the city of Troy, as far as anything that they might, such as when there was the train derailment out in Hoosick, they have some specialized services. They're notified. There's a system in place to start. They're working on a email system for all the residents in the area. It's not in place yet. You can't do it overnight. But Hagan is working on that, where they would be able to send out one message and everybody would get an email notification on it. So it's all in the works. It's there's a lot of work that they have to do yet, but it was impressive the amount of work that Hagan has gotten going in that office.
Okay.
So.
Thank you. And, okay, the other one, I still want, I like to complain about the town website, that it's just really hard to navigate. But we also have a Town of Grafton Facebook page that has not been updated since last October. And it would be a great place for activities or things, current events, things that are happening in town. If you want to get more people interested, there's a lot of people on Facebook. And not everyone is on the Town of Grafton folk page. Not everyone's there. So if we could maybe update periodically the Facebook page, that would be a good place to get people interested in coming to activities. I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone else? No? Okay. All right, well, thank you for that. All right, we're on to motions and resolutions.
Ingrid, could I just mention?
Oh, you can, yes, yeah, Nancy has something
I just
else.
wanted to give you an update on the Veterans Memorial. I talked with the vets and they had a meeting. They're gonna wait until the spring, of course, to fix it. But there, like you said, Jimmy, there was nothing wrong with the glass, it's tempered glass. So what they're gonna try to do is get the caulking, some kind of caulking, to put the glass back in, and fix that. So they're still working on it. I told them that we needed a quote on how much it was gonna cost, Ingrid. And so as soon as they have it, I'll give it to the board. I just wanted to do a follow-up on that. And I have one more question to ask about the shredder. I know we already passed it and everything. My question is there gonna be a key to that for someone in the town clerk, somebody, to be able to open that up in case somebody throws something in there that they didn't mean to throw in? The only reason why I'm bringing this up is we had it at my job and they were locked. And they ended up giving us a key because somebody threw something away. Of course, it was our own stuff from the office. But I'm wondering if there is a key, how does that work if somebody drops something in there? And you know ultimately it's gonna happen. So that was just a question I had.
Okay. Okay, I'll find out. All right, we're on to motions and resolutions. They're a little convoluted. Okay. Nancy, we're going to make a resolution to do an RFP for a general contractor, or make a motion to engage the services of a general contractor. Nancy, you want to take this? Go ahead. You have the language.
Well, first of all, I believe it's Tom and I have to get together and pick, what we have to get together and make the list of what we want done to put our description of what we need to do in order for them to give us a quote. But I wanna move along on that now.
So who's gonna do that part first? But I don't think, there was the maintenance one is Tom and I. Who's gonna put together the RFP as to what we want done specifically?
Are you talking about the individual who's gonna be the handy person, or talking about the senior center?
We're talking about the senior center.
There was a good suggestion made earlier during the public comment that maybe you meet with either an architect or an engineer or somebody that could really help spec that job out for you. And then just take those specs for your RFP.
Okay, what's the board think of that?
So we'd make a motion for the Buildings and Grounds Committee to, we already talked about something like that?
Didn't we want to have somebody do a walkthrough and?
We did, that was for us. We were talking about getting an energy audit done, but we couldn't get anybody to do it.
Okay, so we'll make a motion for the Buildings and Grounds Committee to
Solicit the assistance
solicit the assistance, thank you, Phil.
of a professional
To solicit the assistance of a professional
to assist in providing specifications for the RFP,
there you go.
for repairs to the,
Details.
repairs and upgrades to the senior
That's
center.
exactly what I was gonna say, Phil.
That's what you need.
Hang on one sec. Repairs and upgrades. Okay, so a motion for the Buildings and Grounds Committee to solicit the assistance of a professional to assist in developing specifications for repairs and maintenance?
Repairs and, I thought it was updates.
Repairs and updates.
Upgrades, good word.
Upgrades. Repairs and upgrades to the Everett Wager Senior Center. Okay. All right, so you'd like to make a motion, right?
Yeah, you can make it.
Are we paying this person?
You're gonna have to
set
pay
a
the
dollar
person.
amount?
Yeah,
So-
you're gonna have to pay.
But when you talk to these people, you can find out what they get and then come back to the board.
Yeah, I've just gotta figure out where, or Tom, somebody has to tell me where we have to contact or get somebody that has expertise on how to get these people.
Okay, so for
Okay.
the purpose of tonight's empowering you to move forward with that,
Correct.
I'd like to make a motion for the Buildings and Grounds Committee to solicit the assistance of a professional or professionals to assist in developing specifications for repairs and upgrades to the Everett Wager Senior Center. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Maroc.
Councilwoman Marat,
Yes.
Councilwoman DeShane,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lukowski,
Yes.
Supervisor Gundry.
Yes. Okay, all right, motion passed. Okay, I would like to make a motion that the town board advertise for temporary part-time assistance at the recycling center pursuant to the hours we presently operate, and to run this ad in the newspapers of record. May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Hoyt.
Councilwoman Marat,
Yes.
Councilwoman DeShane.
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lukowski,
Yes.
Supervisor Gundry.
Yes. Okay.
And you're gonna give me a copy of what you want
Yes.
advertised?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, under further motions, general contractor? Yeah? Nancy?
Well, if we've got to find out first, I think that would be the second step, once we get the architect and figure out what we want, then have the town clerk put in the RFP to get a
Right.
general contractor.
Madam Supervisor, you're talking about a contractor for the senior center or
Yes.
something else?
No, it's for the senior
Yeah,
center.
you're one step before that. Right now, you're just going to solicit a professional to help you draft up the specifications necessary to do an RFP. So at a future meeting, you're going to actually approve an RFP to be served and put in the paper and everything else. You're then going to review the responses you get and decide who you want to go with, if any.
Right. Is there any way to do a motion now that once we get that done, if it's done between now and next meeting, say, to run an RFP to start or no? Or should
You
we wait?
could, but I wouldn't, because there's no way between now and your next meeting, you're going to find a
Okay,
professional.
okay, like I said,
Yeah.
I don't know how much time it takes for that, so
Right.
that's why I'm asking these stupid questions.
No, Vance, it might take a while, because I'm not sure who's out there that might be able to come and look at everything with you guys and then give you what you need, and, yeah. It's definitely gonna be at
We
least
need to
a
break
month.
it out to general maintenance, painting and everything, you don't need an architect. Repairs like that. The architect we're gonna need for structural, new and
But we're not-
improvement.
They're gonna
We're
have to
not
come back
doing
and then
any
authorize
structural.
paying
That's
they're
the
gonna
thing.
have
It's
to
just
find the
fixing
professional,
stuff
unless they
that's
wanna
To be
amend their
compliant
resolution
on
to put a
heating
price
and
in.
everything, an architect is gonna.
Just to find somebody.
This is what you're gonna need to heat the building or cool the
Well,
building.
let me ask you this, Tom. Say this was my house, and I had all these problems. I wouldn't need an architect to come. I could get a list of stuff and say to the general contractor, we want to do this, this, and this. So I don't,
Like painting and stuff like that is one thing.
but that's gonna still be part of the general contractor's job, to get people to do all that stuff. He's gonna be the one that's gonna come up with all the stuff, and he's gonna have to get the people to do it. And we're only gonna pay one person. So, I mean, I understand what John's saying, but do we really need that? Because we're not changing anything around, we're just fixing and
The building
updating
was
things.
compliant when they built it. Okay, as far as handicap accessibility and door widths and egresses. and-
Oh, I'm with you, but that was 18 years ago. What if there's been changes?
Right, I understand that, but I'm just wondering if we, couldn't a general contractor do the same thing?
Nance, let me tell you, if you feel comfortable, who's on the building and grounds liaisons?
Tom and I.
Do you guys feel comfortable coming up with an RFP to submit to the town clerk for putting in the paper? That means you have to come up with all the specifications and everything.
Yourself. I think we refined our earlier conversation about.
Okay, I agree with you. Okay.
What do you agree with?
I agree that maybe we do need that. My question is where do you find them?
I work with a half a dozen of them
Yeah.
on a daily basis. PDs, architects, every day.
Isn't that why you're putting it in the paper? So somebody can read and say, hey, Town of Grafton's looking for somebody to tell us what they need.
Right. I mean, they're out there. Whether they want to get to a job like that or not.
Okay, well then I need you to share the names to those so I can.
That's what you guys will do.
Okay.
That's what you two will do once
Okay.
you do what we did with the motion that we just did to, yes. To solicit the assistance of a professional to assist in developing specifications for repairs and upgrades.
And that resolution does not authorize
Sounds
paying the
like
person.
we've got a little bit more homework to do to, yeah.
Right, if they come to you and say, I can do that for you, but it's gonna cost $4,000, they gotta come back to you.
They come back to us with it, but we won't know, we don't want to set dollar limits or
Because
anything
we
on it
don't
now
know,
until
we
we
have
know
no idea.
what we're looking at. Okay, any other motions? Did I miss any?
What was the other motion that you started to do?
To help for the recycling center.
For the recycling?
Oh, yeah, the
We
recycling.
did that, the advertise.
Did you do the
Yep,
advertising for
to advertise for
recycling?
the position, yep, I'll do the things, yeah. Okay, sorry, folks, it just, you get a little,
How about for the mowing, plowing, or mowing, shoveling, and all that stuff? That was the other one. The maintenance and.
That's the Petersburg.
yeah, that's, okay, I would like to make a motion for the Buildings and Grounds Committee in conjunction with the Parks and Cemeteries Committee to review the ad that Petersburg has run for groundskeeper and see if it coincides with what our needs are here, and to get back to the board for the April meeting and let us know if we can run an ad mirroring what they ran, or if we need to add to it or subtract from it. And that will give us time to get it out there in time to get it advertised for summer, so people can mow and spruce things up. May I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Councilwoman Barak,
Yes.
Councilwoman DeShane,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman McCuskey,
Yes.
and Supervisor Dunn.
Yes.
I don't even know what that motion was.
What it was. It's okay, Becky, for the two
It's getting late.
committees. I know, it is getting late. The Buildings and Grounds Committee and the Parks and Cemeteries Committee to review the ad that Petersburg has run for groundskeeper, to see if that parallels what our needs are up here. Okay? I can,
Yeah,
and it was unanimous.
yep, I got that.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, I would like to make a motion to pay the bills as audited this evening. We have vouchers number 66 through 103 for a total of $81,973.08. I'd like to make a motion to pay the bills. May I have a second? Seconded by Councilman DeShane. We have to do a voice vote because it's money.
Councilwoman Barak,
Yes.
Councilwoman DeShane.
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman McCuskey,
Yes.
Supervisor Dunn.
Yes. Does anyone have anything for legislative privilege?
No.
No? Wow.
All this stuff was taken
Thank
care
you.
of over
Yes,
the last
yes,
18 years.
That's
We wouldn't
good,
be
that's
this
good.
long.
Well, no, it's, okay. Alright. Our next monthly town board meeting is Monday, April 14th, 2025, 7 PM here. This evening, we are adjourning in loving memory of Jimmy Nealis, James Nealis, and Isabel Boomhauer. So I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn this evening. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, folks. Thanks for coming out.
Hey, John, I want to